You may have noticed in our globalist liberal world that there's an enforced value system we're all supposed to hold to, and the very core of that is the idea of tolerance. The modern world dictates that we should celebrate the most foreign and alien cultures coming to our lands in their droves. We should celebrate where a man wants to put his penis, and even celebrate if a man wants to hack off his penis. Now, we seem to go along with these things because we've inverted the Christian moral value system of the Western world. Nowadays, we think we have to accept absolutely everything and judge absolutely nothing, lest we be evil, quote-unquote, hateful people. Yet trying to live free of all judgment is a manifest absurdity. We have to make judgments all the time, such as what am I going to have for dinner this evening? Where would I like to live? What's a good school to send my child? And so on. And further to that, we've forgotten the basic truth that if you tolerate everything, then you stand for nothing. But perhaps more importantly, we fail to realise that what you end up striving to tolerate very often doesn't tolerate you.
Let me be very clear. I will never ever stand by and let migrant communities be scapegoated. It's totally unacceptable for politicians, for any party, to use dog whistle racism against Bangladeshis or any other migrant community. আমি আপনারারে স্পষ্টভাবে হইয়ার আমি যতদিন আছি আমি আমরার migrant community হলতর বিরুদ্ধে scapegoating সহ্য করতাম না।
This young Muslim lady is standing for election in East London in the upcoming elections. Now, we all know if some leftist Guardianista heard this speech, they'd be in floods of tears over the supposed scapegoating of Bangladeshis and dog whistle politics. But what exactly does she mean when she says these things? Have you seen any attacks on Bangladeshi people at all? Personally, I haven't, and I actually used to live in East London and walk through the areas she's canvassing in. They are absolutely full of Bangladeshis. If you tried anything there, you'd wind up as kebab meat by that afternoon. Of course, what she really means when she says scapegoating of Bangladeshis and dog whistle politics is any criticism of Islam or immigration. Second to that, is she tolerant to our ways of life? For instance, she's wearing a headscarf and speaking in a foreign language as she vies to get elected. And if she did get elected, do you think she'd be tolerant to the views of the British people en masse? Of course she wouldn't. She'd only agitate for her and her group's own interests. And then we have the toleration of the present LGBTQ trans madness, which has gone so far, even leftist liberals like J.K. Rowling are getting worried. Rowling has stated that she's not going to vote for the Labour Party because she wants women, understandably, to be able to go in places like women's toilets without worrying about a man coming in there and doing his business, or even worse, next to her. And then we have dimwits like the Doctor Who actor David Tennant, who you can see on your screen here, telling us we've got to go through him if we criticise the trans movement. Think we can handle it, guys? He looks a bit tough, doesn't he? But here's Strongman Dave picking up an award from the LGBTQ types for being pro the mutilation of children's genitals.
Until we wake up and Kemi Badenoch doesn't exist anymore, I don't wish ill of her, I just wish her to shut up.
It's funny how Dawn Butler, a black Labour MP, doesn't mind David Tennant telling a black woman to shut up when it suits leftist ideology now, though, isn't it? As this guy points out, if David Tennant had told Diane Abbott to shut up and said that he preferred she didn't exist for having an opinion, Dawn would find it completely unacceptable. Funny how these low-tier MPs are never consistent when it's someone who doesn't hold perceived right opinions. And this gets to the very heart of the issue. These tolerance, love, equality people don't believe that at all, because there's one thing that they really don't tolerate, and that is white conservative Christian men. I mean, just take some of the behaviour from the adherents to the religion of peace we've witnessed in the UK, grooming gangs, extremely reactionary views about women and homosexuals. All of those get a pass because Islam is seen as diverse and henceforth you must be tolerant towards it. However, have much milder views as a conservative Christian, such as I don't care what people do in the privacy of their own home, but I'm not pro-gay marriage, and you'll find out pretty quickly that you're quote-unquote worse than Hitler. Yet what we can learn from this is the worldview of progressives isn't built on tolerance and love, it's built upon a hatred of everything traditional and homely. Second to that, these cultures that we're supposed to tolerate do not tolerate us at all most of the time. In conclusion, what I believe is a split is inevitable down the line. That's not a bad thing. These people who've pushed this world should be left to live in it, and those of us who don't wish to live in that world and stay in our homelands historically should be free to maintain our own way of life. I will be making more content on that theme down the line, but in the meantime, do let me know your thoughts down below and do consider subscribing to the channel.